What's the matter with bats today?
So, as you ask that question, let's go ahead and clear the initiative, because this will actually take us out of combat for the moment.
I'm still unconscious.
Well, that's why we're out of combat, because we're all unconscious now and can no longer fight.
Yeah, I'm out of healing spells, so...
You will see these three dwarfs start making their way into the hallway. And let me make sure you all can see them. I'm trying to work on a way to do that real quick. Hold on. You all can see what they look like.
My map looks entirely different.
See if I can do this reveal area thing here. And you should be able to... Nope, is this not working? This trick is not working. This trick is not working. I gave them full light. Alright, let me see if I can just give you guys viewership of each of them. Or at least one of them. Token layer. On the token layer. There they are. Alright, all of you should be able to see.
Is it supposed to be unrevealed?
Should be down if you scroll down a little ways. You should be able to see them.
I can see two of the three. I don't know if you were... I think you said we're supposed to see all three, though.
I will give you the other one.
There's larger minis of them. If you scroll down and to the left a little bit, you can kind of get a better idea of what they look like.
Yep. I have front-facing photo pictures of them. I can actually move them up a little bit. Hang on. I'll move them up to... Oops.
Okay.
They got color-schemed clothes.
I did not mean to do that. Fuck. They do indeed have color-schemed clothes. Bring them up here.
So they don't actually look like dwarves, though, because they got these big-ass elven ears.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. And one of them has red skin.
Yeah, they do look kind of strange as they approach. They also have big wings on their backs.
Oh, those are wings.
Like big bat wings on their back. What you been doing down here? This is our turf.
Oh.
Am I conscious? I can't remember.
You are not conscious yet.
Fuck.
We are terribly sorry. We didn't mean to intrude. We actually were investigating some bats acting strangely.
Yeah! You be killing our friends!
We're very sorry. We wouldn't have attacked them except that they attacked us.
You be coming to someone else's home. You broke in. You dug your way through. You came all the way in here. And the first thing you do when the natives that live here is you start killing them? Imagine you broke into someone's house. And then they started attacking you. Do you really think it's the right thing to do to attack them back?
Well, I like I said, I do apologize. We didn't know anyone lived here. We were actually following... Do we still have the bat on the tether?
Yeah, we have a bat on the string.
That's still, like, hooked to Nikolai's arm. That one be mine!
Oh, this one's yours.
Yeah!
Well, it's just the bats have been acting unnaturally strange. We were trying to see if there was, like, a problem. Perhaps they were sick. We were just trying to find out some more information as to why they were acting that way.
The bats prefer to be with their brethren. The Batmen! And they all, like, raise their arms and their wings kind of unfurl a bit.
Lord.
I see. Well, I certainly apologize.
Of course you do now! Now that you've come in and you've ruined our homes!
Now we gotta get the moralizing too. Okay.
I mean, so Niev will say, you know, certainly we would be happy to help you repair any damage. You know, we want...
You couldn't repair the damage. I can see you from here. Those pointy ears. You look like an elf. You don't know anything about building.
I, I have a spell that can mend damaged things.
I have a spell. Typical elven words.
Well, let me ask you this then. What is it that we can do to make amends?
You can get out of our house and tell them to stop. And as he says that, you hear a crashing noise from the mound, like way back. What the hell be that?
Oh, that's probably some rangers.
This be our home. Why you be bringing rangers here?
It wasn't something we did. We didn't actually call them. They were paying attention to our friend's vital signs, and when he went down, they figured we were in trouble. They're coming to help us.
All right, and as you say that, a number of rangers swarm the area. One of them like scoops up Erasmus. One of them will also scoop up Nikolai. Say, we've got it from here. You can all go.
They just scoop me up. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, they're all quite strong.
All right, I'll start heading out.
Yeah,
Well, we don't want the Bat Brothers to get like killed or anything. They're just guys protecting themselves. That seems to be a rather large misunderstanding.
Yeah, is there a ranger that I could like talk to maybe in the back, explain the situation to?
Yeah, you can try to flag one of them down. Give me a diplomacy check first.
Okay. Oh.
He doesn't want to hear it. He thinks these people should go away. They're in like private. They're basically on private land, trying to claim it as their residence. They're like his argument is these people are very clearly completely out of their minds. They think they're bat. Look at them. They're dressed like they're going to some kind of like bat seminar.
Now, I know I'm not conscious, but are those actual bat wings they're dressed with, or do they have bat wings?
Hard to say unless you look at them.
You suck. Maybe Constag you can try. Everybody can try diplomacy. You might as well just give it the roll.
Actually, it gets worse if people repeatedly fail.
Go for it.
I got a -1 diplomacy. I can diplomatize.
Don't make it worse, Trent.
No,
so,
let's do it. I want to hear what Trent does, because this
so
will be good.
the thing that you'll notice is that between Konstag and Niev, you'll notice that like when they move their arms, the wings will like unfurl and close back in, depending upon where their wing position is. Because like as they're yelling, they're moving their arms about, and you can see the wings like flapping back and forth.
Oh man.
Now listen here, you rangers! This is our land! This is not your land. This is property of Phoenicia. You're going to need to come with us. I'll be going nowhere!
Oh God.
Is everybody leaving, or are people trying to stay standing around?
Niev doesn't want to just leave them, but at the same time, she doesn't want to make anything worse. She feels like that if she continues trying to say something, it's just going to be worse. And she just wanted to help, but she doesn't feel like she can. So in the absence of that, I think that she would probably try to leave.
Okay. All right. So the party can leave or be carried away.
Well, I'll be carried away then. I'm out of control and being carried away.
All right. So the Rangers will help the party make their way back to town. Two of the Rangers will pick up a couple of the bat carcasses that you downed and bring them with. They'll inform you that they'll hold them for you while like any potential claims are in place, but if they're not claimed, then they'll let you turn them over for their reward. But yeah, you will be able to return to the campus.
So I missed the whole Bat Brothers thing, right? I missed your glorious reveal.
Yep.
How disappointing. That was pretty good, Steve.
Would it help, or would we need to write up any kind of report or give it our account of what happened to
The
anybody?
Rangers will want your report, as well as you know that. Well, you don't know, but when you get back to class to inform Professor Phelan, he will want you all to write up what happened as part of making sure you're given your grade.
Okay.
And this will determine your final grade. As long as you write out something and deliver it, you will get a passing grade. The better the detail, or the better the understanding of the situation, the better he says your final grade will be. And this will be your grade for the class.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to make some notes about things I think we need as a party going forward. I think we need to invest in some healing potions, at least one each. And I think that everybody who can should be carrying a distance weapon, as we are all not burly enough to be doing all this close engagement that we seem to end up doing. Except for maybe one, and I don't know. I'm going to look for a book on group dynamic tactics, like commands and shit like that.
Okay.
We definitely need to work on our retreat, I think. Get a better idea of what we shall do if we decide to retreat type deal.
Yeah.
So do I know why I wasn't able to run? Was it just that you need a straight line or something?
You need basically a straight line. There needs to be as minimal deviations as possible to run. And because the cave turns 45 degrees multiple times, you're not able to properly move through the cave with a run speed.
And then we're going to tell each other what happened, and then I'm going to be fascinated by the Bat Brothers. Really? They were dwarves in bat costumes?
I assume we're having cocktails at Banana Flies and
Yep.
talking with one another.
You'll each be healed up. Each of you that are down will be healed up by by some of the clergy around the school.
We're having I believe mini taquitos are on special tonight.
Oh.
With some let me do my joke. Some John David sauce. Isn't Applebee's the one with always Jack Daniels?
No, that's TGI Fridays, where it's Jack Daniels everything.
We got Jack Daniels flavored. Okay.
Yeah, I would be describing the Bat Brothers to Erasmus and telling him about how that I noticed the wings, whenever they would move their hands, the wings were moving too.
I want to talk to these guys so bad. It's so great.
Yeah, that was not the way that encounter was supposed to go. Not at all.
So Nikolai, what did you think we could? I'm looking for everybody's input on how we can improve these kind of things. My thoughts have been distance weapons and healing potions. We've had thoughts about how to effectively retreat. How about yourself?
I definitely agree about the distance weapons, because we just don't have enough hit points to survive much. I think we also just need to better strategize before going into something.
Mm-hmm.
What our approach is going to be. I probably shouldn't have started out with the acid attack, but it's hard because when something hasn't attacked yet, I don't know kind of what to do.
And Constag, do you have anything to add? This is a crazy idea that just popped in my head. Can we put metal tips on the prongs and make them sharper?
That's technically outfitting it with a weapon, and it needs to learn how to use them.
Okay. All right. So much for
Good
that.
thinking.
I don't want to take away from Constog's thoughts, but I was going to mention that we might want to get something that we can put on somebody that's unconscious, potion-wise, instead of trying to force a potion down their throat.
I assume you buy a potion and then I'm being very serious, and then like a funnel, right?
That actually doesn't work either because you
Oh,
have to
okay.
basically choke them on the funnel. So I do have an option that people can buy. There is a balm or a potion that you can buy.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right.
But you can't, like, administering the balm is something that can't be done in the same way. Like, you can't do it while somebody's in combat because you have to try to, like, rub all over them.
This would be more like for out of combat. So maybe
Steve
like
made
carry
that just so
a
one of us would
potion
have to
and a
say,
balm.
I rub all over the unconscious character.
So if you're in the back, you can't do it during a combat?
It's about, like, so you mean like putting the balm on? You can. It's just a full round action instead of a standard action that provokes attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
And Trent, what did you think we could take away from this?
You guys got to stop going down so often so that I don't have to waste up all my spells so quick.
That both helpful and exact. Okay.
Wait, did Comstock share?
Nope.
No.
I don't really have any ideas.
Well,
I've
how
just
about
been keeping the list of your guys's.
Comstock has been clutch with those birds and the stag, I would have to say.
yes. The stag is the MVP of the party often.
Yeah, is there
Happy
anything else
stag
we can get for
noises.
the stag? I mean, we got that armor.
Never has a party depended more on an animal companion.
Companionable.
I can't even
should
say it
look
today.
into more
Canem-
things for Kotru.
What's that?
Maybe, perhaps I should look into more things for Kotru. See if there's anything I can do on that front.
We keep bumping into animals. Maybe we should have like a speak with animals or a charm animal scroll. Does everybody think that would be a good?
I have speak with animals technically, I just didn't memorize it. So I guess it was kind of dumb that I didn't think to do that.
Well, I don't want you to waste a slot to memorize a spell if the scroll of it is relatively cheap. You know what I mean? If there's something we would be using more, because your summoning seems to be saving the day a lot. So I don't want you to waste one of those beautiful life-saving summonings for speak with animals.
That's fair.
Can we buy a scroll, GM?
Of course. There are plenty of scrolls made by plenty of people around the school that are looking to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
Can I buy speak with animals?
You can. The base price for Speak with Animals for a level 1 scroll, I believe, is 25 gold. Always bad with my scroll pricing. I'm pretty sure it is... Nope, I am off. It is 12... No, it is 25 gold. And you'll get a 15% discount off of it.
Nice. Frequent buyer club.
No, it's a regular thing. So 22 gold.
Okay,
It rounds
how
up.
about it?
Cool.
All right, let's talk about some distance weapons for everybody.
So the reason I don't have a distance weapon is because I can't carry it. I think the lightest one is like 3 pounds.
Well, for those who can't carry anything, I was just going to suggest we just buy a sling, and that way if things get desperate, we can sling a rock.
Hey, Steven, where do I put the scroll
I
on
think
my
the
sheet?
sling is 3 pounds.
On your
Is it really? I
inventory.
thought the sling itself had no weight, it
Scroll
was the
of-
bullets.
Just under the gear section?
Yep, under your equipment.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I'll
So-
buy a sling.
All right, so everybody can sling because I believe it's a basic weapon, except for Nikolai, who we want to rock a massive weapon.
I am a massive weapon.
Nice.
Oh, but I'd only be able to do 1 damage with the slings because they do go off your strength. And I have minus 3, right?
Ooh,
Minus
man.
2. Minus 2.
Yeah, I don't know how we overcompensate for that. Okay.
So yeah, a sling would be useless in my hands.
Same.
That's what I was thinking of, was that the lowest weapon that I can deal damage with ranged is gonna be at least 3 pounds. Which I'm pretty good with the
What's
crossbow.
the name of that site where I can look at weapons?
D20 PFSRD.
D20 PS.
PFSRD.
Well, I'm gonna bring myself a
okay.
sling because I can actually. I think I'm at a 0, so I could do that big old 3 damage. And
Yeah, I can definitely go for a sling as well.
and then Erasmus will then spend some time researching slings and histories of slings, because why not?
Okay. So I want to hear something from each of you about how you perceived the assignment of going in there. What your take on the situation is, and how you think things went down. So this is part of your grade to determine how well you pass.
Oh yeah, sure. So I mean, I'm a spellcaster. I'm gonna assume that they were spellcasters. I'm gonna think those bats were familiars, and that they were some sort of spellcasters. So yeah, pretty much. My take is that we went down there investigating the bat. They sent their familiars after us. We took down the familiars, and then the Rangers got there before we were able to talk much to these guys.
Okay. All right. So you'll get a C. You pass.
I'll go. So basically, our objective was to find out why the bats were acting strangely. So we tied a tether to the bat we had captured. We followed it into the forest until we got to a mound. We realized that it was trying to get underground. It just kept circling. So we had my wolf dig out the dirt until we were able to gain entry. Once inside, we had our war priest. Was it
Which
Magus, your Magus went in first.
Magus.
Actually, I need to not help you because this is on you.
Yeah, we had our Magus investigate the cavern. When he indicated that there was no immediate danger, we all entered into the little crawl space and then into some tunnels. We proceeded with caution until we came across some bats. Constog, my sister, did indicate that there were some smaller bats. It looked like they were watching us. So we knew that there was possibly, someone aware of our presence. We did, the bats were threatening us, so we did engage them. When it seemed that the bats were too strong for us and too numerous, then we did attempt to retreat. However, in the process of doing that, a couple of our party members, Nikolai and Erasmus, went down. Constog indicated that they needed healing, so Trent and I, who were in the lead of the retreat, came back to try and tend to their injuries. I sent my wolf into combat to try and fight the bats, while Constog held them at bay with her stag and summoned birds. Once we got back to where the party was, then my wolf helped finish off the bats that were remaining. There seemed to be some holding back, but the ones that were directly threatening us, my wolf helped finish that off. And then we tried to get Nikolai and Erasmus back up. When Erasmus went down, it alerted the Rangers that our party was in trouble. And so while we had, after we had ended our combat with the bats, we were approached by some dwarves claiming to be bat men. They seemed to have wings, but the wings moved with their hands, so I don't believe they were real wings. And they were basically just angry. They were angry because this was what they considered their home, and we had invaded their home. The bat that we had followed, they said, was one of their trained bats. And unfortunately, we did not really get to talk with them very much because the Rangers showed up. And the Rangers had a different take. They believed that the dwarves were more like squatters. And so we returned home.
You get a B. Professor Phelan says this was not a brief synopsis. This was literally every minute detail.
I'll take it.
So, who wants to go next with their synopsis? All right, go ahead. Give it a try, Nikolai.
So after we had captured the bat and brought it to the Rangers, they said there was weird stuff going on with the bats, wanted us to investigate. So we tried to get ourselves prepared, did some research, got some supplies, put the bat on a string and attached myself. It led us into the woods to a hole. We went down to investigate, got attacked by some bats. Erasmus and I got knocked out. We came upon some quote-unquote Batmen, and then the Rangers came and collected us.
Okay, you get the opposite. Too brief, lacks important information. B. Who's next?
Rude.
I've given you all hints that Phelan is really harsh about grading.
So, we were assigned the task to investigate the behavior of the bats. We used one of the bats as a guide by tying a string to it. We did prepare. We discovered that the entranceway to where the bat was trying to go into was covered. Maybe an engineering check in the future would determine if it was man-made or constructed or not. We then, I feel, should have probably taken a pause there before proceeding, and maybe ask the Rangers if they know more about this particular area. That would be the thing that I would take away from this. But we did proceed because we felt we were prepared enough. Unfortunately, we were not. We're beset upon by bats who proved to be perhaps some of the fiercest fighters we had ever encountered in our short career. They were devastating us. We attempted to do a retreat. Even while retreating, the bats proved to be incredibly doughty fighters. I myself and my compatriot were knocked unconscious. I do not know about the encounter with the bat men, although they're dwarves, so they'd be bat dwarves. So this is secondhand news. I was knocked unconscious, which signaled the Rangers. The Rangers came and apprehended the bat dwarves. I personally would like to do an interview, as I am intrigued as to what the hell is going on there. We really don't know what's going on with the bats.
Okay.
And really feel that we would not complete the mission's objective until we interview these guys.
Okay.
So that's where I stand on it.
You will get an A- for the course. You have really, really good insight. However, your own failings and your own realization there at the end is exactly what stops you from getting the A+. You do not have full insight into this because you did fail to take better precautions. The notation, like, at the end says something along the lines of, like, be careful with your stubbornness in the future. Sometimes charging forward is not always the right idea.
Noted.
All right, Constag, what is your take on what happened?
All right.
There was some shit that went down, bro. I'm telling you. It was bad. It was bad.
All right. So, we traveled through the forest, being led by the bat, which we had attached to Nikolai. We eventually came upon a mound And upon further investigation and digging through it, we found it led underground. And so we all headed inside, and while traveling through, we were attacked by bats. And they were some very strong bats, managing to knock down even 2 of our party members. Eventually, when we took enough down, they stopped attacking us, and some dwarves wearing bat wings approached us, calling themselves the Batmen, and claiming that that cave was their home, and that the bats were their friends, family, something of the sort. But because of one of our party members going down, the Rangers were called, so before they really got to answer our questions, they were apprehended, and we had to leave.
Okay. At all? Okay. B plus. You lack some insight into what happened and why. But you did point out a few things that are important. He specifically circles that you use the phrase "the Batmen," and not like as a title, the whole "the Batmen," not like lowercase t, uppercase t. Which no, you would have put because you put them as the Batmen. You specifically said it that way. Everybody else said, and then the Batman. So. Each of you still, that's still a good grade for party studies. Or for party theory.
Huh.
I mean, I'll take it, especially since I have caught on to the fact that he's kind of a tough grader.
When you all bring in your papers also, he'll ask that you all meet him the following day to discuss some things.
Okay.
And that day you'll come in, and he is there with the Batmen.
Ooh, did we get a chance to go weapon shopping before that? I
Sure.
really wanted to go with Nikolai to weapon shopping.
Sure.
Because it's been a long time since I've done that.
Nikolai is a magus and is specialized with the scimitar.
So, what does that mean?
So what do you
That
want to go
means you gotta
shopping
buy
for?
a scimitar launching weapon.
I was gonna get a crossbow.
Okay.
So I'm thinking
Not a short bow or a long bow. Are you not proficient?
I don't know what the difference between these are.
So with a short bow or a long bow, you can get like composite versions, and you can eventually get them to deal damage that adds your strength bonus to it. But it depends on whether or not you're able to. So double check the magus class.
Yeah, I just suggested crossbow because it's simple to use. If you can use better weapons, by all means.
They are simple. They are proficient with all simple and martial weapons. So you could use a longbow.
That would be better.
Yes.
But crossbow sounds.
However, I'm gonna jam it. Suggest that you should probably wait at least to talk to Phelan before you buy anything. You don't even know what's going on.
Okay. All right.
What did you cough fake say?
Jam it.
Jammin'?
Never mind.
GM hits.
He's GMing it. He's GMing it. He doesn't want to sound in.
I don't know how much money everybody has anyway. Like, is everybody rolling around here with stacks on stacks of cash?
Yeah, it started off with
Really?
rich parents, so you know it.
I have 81 gold left.
Okay, so you'd barely have enough to buy a longbow.
We'll wait to see what the professor says, and I'll be glad to throw in for a longbow, just because I don't want to die. But let's see what the professor says. I have a sudden urge to hear what the professor says.
Well, I also think you were both. They didn't heal you up completely when you were healed. So you would have been healed, like, one up to whenever you become conscious. And then once you become conscious, then you would have been able to, like, be healed up beyond there yourselves. But the whole party would have had to have rested before that.
Okay.
Probably worked on their paper at that point. delivered their paper, and then he says he'll actually probably say later that day he'd want to talk to you.
I'm gonna go practice my sling for about a half an hour.
Okay. So the 5 of you meet with Professor Phelan, and when you arrive, the Batmen are there with him.
Am I impressed with the Batmen? Because I have only heard them described.
That depends. These are 3 dwarven males with what looks like elven ears attached to their regular dwarven ears.
So they have their costumes on still?
Yes. They have their bat wings with these like straps that go over them. And as they move their arms, the wings will move with them.
Oh, it's you guys.
I just go,
I
Wow.
was like, Erasmus, these are the Batmen.
it is both more and less than what I expected. That's amazing.
We've been told we're supposed to give you a formal apology. So, we're sorry or whatever.
That's
Well-
very gracious of
Oh,
you.
unexpected.
I was not expecting that. Erasmus Sweetleaf, how do you do?
Hi. We are the Batmen.
Yes, you are.
Nia
Yes, you
will incline her head and she'll say, apology accepted. I am sorry about your bats.
Thank you, Lassie. They're not dead. They'll be returned to us.
Oh,
As-
good.
So, what was going on? Because the bats seem to be straying far afield, and
We've been having some issues with the way things are going on around here. People are being rather problematic, or at least in our opinion. So we were doing what we were taught by Professor Phelan, and by some of our other professors, trying to make sure change happens around here. We are getting our bats to gather up the bats, and eventually we are going to take out a much greater foe.
oh,
Just
Society in its problematic ways.
I was not thinking. Erasmus is just baffled by that. He thought like it was gonna be like, oh yeah, we gotta fight an Alpashi. Society, huh? It's society. What's
These
I don't even
rangers, these wizards that roam around here, that are constantly trying to kill the native bat population. For what? For some objects so they can cast their precious little spells? Or to keep it down because they believe the bats shouldn't be the most important part of the ecosystem? This is nonsense. The bats deserve to grow to whatever point they can, just as the humans did. You humans have created just as much problems as the bats have. We learned well from our druidic studies.
Oh, you're druids as well?
Of course, lass.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
We're gonna change the system from the outside.
Wouldn't it be better to try and change it from the inside?
Nonsense! You cannot be changing things from the inside. Have you ever seen the rock change?
I mean,
You can
over
only see
time-
it change if we put pick to it.
Well, but if water hits the rock over
If
the
water
whole
hits the
thing-
rock from what side? The inside or the outside?
Well, it'll definitely change if water hits it from the inside.
Right, but it has to get in there, and how would it get in there, lassie?
A crack.
I feel like we're the
From
Tick
the outside.
the muck in that episode of the Tick. You know what I mean? Where the muck looks awful, and then they just have some interesting point of views on life.
Unfortunately, however, we have been brought back in here and told that we are no longer allowed to leave until we complete our special studies program. So we'll be doing that for probably about 6 to 8 months.
Well,
Erasmus can barely hold it together. This is too absurd even for him. It's like, oh good God.
We do not be wanting to lose our our participation in the school. As bad as things may be, our learning has been useful.
So Erasmus gathers himself together, tries to treat this with the gravity and the seriousness, even though, dwarves in bad costumes are talking environmental stuff. So, you're right. It's not good that people are hunting the bats for their spell components, and there's, but they're.
Yeah, why were you out there looking for a bat?
Well, we were told to bring in a bat, and then the bats were acting erratic, so I had assumed, rather wrongly.
But why? Why were you told to bring in a bat?
Well, that was what we were getting for our grade, to bring in a bat.
Yeah, and did they tell you why you were bringing in a bat?
I think we all knew.
Yeah.
For spell components, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and he's like pointing at Phelan as he says that. Phelan's like, calm down, guys, calm down. This is not necessary. It is. Look it. You send out your little henchmen to get you bats or whatever other animals they probably sent you out for. Is this what you want to be? You're no better than fishermen.
Dude, don't think any of us have a problem with fishermen, so it goes inexplicably weird.
Right.
Yeah.
You, lassie, are the only one that seems to be talking any sense here.
I'm just looking.
Tell this one how crazy he is.
Is there a way we could practice bat husbandry and raise herds of bats?
There you go! Ethical bats! Let them die on their own, collect the wings. There you got what you need. A little bit of the fur, you can trim it off. Certainly, why is no one talking about that? But I'll bet you want to keep them in cages, don't you?
Well, we would let them
range.
range free. That way they're, because probably bats raised in cages would probably be lacking the vitality needed to be effective spell components, if we're going to be brutal about it. So they would have to be free range bats. Plus, bats are maybe nice pets. I wouldn't know.
A bat is a wonderful pet.
My life.
They can fetch things for you. They look really cool, and they all flap their wings.
This is so hard for Erasmus. It's like, oh, good lord.
Well, maybe you can talk to Rosalia and Iria. They seem to give me some good guidance. I wanted to start a compost initiative and...
Rosalia won't be seen around us.
Oh, no? Do they not like you?
Have you looked at her? Have you looked at us? There's a big difference between the two.
But we're all druids here.
Yeah, that doesn't imply camaraderie.
Are they? Am I able to tell if they're legit druids or they're guys claiming to be druids?
I mean, they were controlling a whole bunch of bats.
It's true. Even though I am elf, I am baffled by all this druidical nonsense. It's like, oh, good lord. Now I know why my
don't know what the
lives...
fuck is happening.
This makes perfect sense. 3 people who were taught by the university that, like, you're supposed to get rid of the evils, took it upon themselves to try to fight one of the biggest evils. The people of the university that are, like, going out and farming bats for resources. And so they thought they would gather up the bats, bring them to a protected space, and then they would, like, once they got enough bats, they would go back at society and get revenge for, like, all the lost bat lives.
I just feel like I'm, like, having a dream.
This is so... I mean, I understand that, and I get what they're going at, but the presentation is so absurd. It's very...
Well, you did pick up books and read about a number of people who have come to this university, and the information being, like, fed to you is a lot to take in.
Yeah, I think the best thing right now is to set up a bat husbandry program, to allow free-range bats to be grown and developed as spell components.
So, Niev will actually look at Professor Phelan and say, is there some sort of like student body president or something we could take the issue to? Perhaps we can figure out a way to, ethically farm bat parts.
You could try to take it up with the dean, but there's no student body president. My professor's really off.
What?
The
What
dwarves
was
are really
that
screwing up.
accent?
The dwarves are really screwing up my ability to
That's
do
a hard accent to
Phelan.
do, that Scottish mixed with whatever the dwarves got going
Yeah.
on. So do you guys got echolocation or?
No, we don't have echolocation.
Well, you have the ears on. I thought maybe they worked.
They like pop the ears off. They're part of the outfit. They pop them back on. You can't be the Batman without good form. What are you? The Misfits?
Ouch.
We are the Pact.
The pact.
What pact y'all sign?
A pact toward each other to develop each other's goals and to get good grades.
The three of them look at Phelan, and then they look back at each other, and they're like, that sounds like a terrible name. You know what's a good name? The Batmen!
I mean, you're not wrong. But
I can't take this. This is too much.
Niamh will
All
just
right,
shake
you know
her
what?
head. She's like, do you know how long it took us to come up with that? I mean, it was the best we could do.
Took us 10 minutes, lass.
Do you-
We were
you know
four,
what?
but we were five before.
Oh no.
The rest are fallen brethren that didn't agree with the Batman.
Oh no.
So you
You guys
murdered
like-
him?
No, we didn't murder them.
Just gonna end this. Do you guys like banana fries and do you guys like banana flies and sweet potato fries?
Of course, who doesn't?
Let's go have some sweet potato fries, guys, and put this all behind us, huh?
Well, we'd love to, except that we're not allowed to leave the campus.
wait, can we get like takeout from Banana Flies?
You can.
Oh, thank goodness.
What
All right,
if
we'll
we
get
bring
some
you guys
dip out
Banana
and we'll,
Flies?
we'll buff-
That would be delicious. Might not get it otherwise.
All right, what do you guys want?
We'll get
I
some
pull out,
banana
like, a
fries
notebook.
take out and spend some
They'll give you their
quality time with
orders.
The Batman.
All right.
Are they met to, I asked them how they met, where they
Yeah, they all met, like, party. They all got together because of party theory. It was the three of them, as well as a gnome and a human. The human was the first to go. He was run over by a stampede of swine. It was a very sad ending. What?
Well, that's what
He
would have
can't
happened
keep
to
it
us.
together. We lost Charles. He's just crying over in a corner.
I'm trying.
He's
Oh my
crying.
gosh.
I'm almost scared to hear what happened with the gnome.
Oh, the gnome was eaten by a tiger.
Oh, shit.
Would you call this humanoid hideous laughter?
The tiger snuck up on him, got him, and ran with him before we could catch up. You know, we got these stumpy legs, a little hard to catch him.
They're like the worst adventures ever.
I mean, this is coming from us. I'll just sort of nod and be like, yeah, Rasmus knows what it's like when a tiger sets its eyes
Yeah,
on you.
I've had tiger issues too.
It's a sad thing.
Oh, God. Okay.
You okay there, buddy?
So y'all be trying to work with the dean to get some kind of like bat program together?
Yes, that's correct. I will.
Will this be part of your pact?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we are ecologically I can't even remember.
Ecologically sourced?
I don't know.
Conscious?
I don't even know. I'm really trying to hold it together.
It's not working.
It's not working. I can't stop seeing them like waving their fucking. Like, what is that? Oh Lord. Okay. All right. Lovely. Thanks a lot, guys. We really do appreciate your work on behest of the downtrodden.
We're gonna make life better for the bats. It's what they deserve.
Nia will nod and she'll say, "We'll do our best. I've heard that the dean is not a very understanding person, but we will try."
This is the same man that won't let composting happen.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
I
we can
was-
sell the bats as a marketing way for them to make money. There'll be initial investment, but as they sell off bats,
Right, you
maybe
gotta
even
find
use
their incentive.
yeah,
Good idea.
we incentivize it, and then the meat can be used as food. I don't know if you can actually eat bats other than the wings.
They make a good soup. I mean,
So, all right, well, I have to put together a proposal.
Before each of you leaves, by the way, before you would have left with the Batmen, Professor Phelan lets you know that unlike most of the rest of your classes, completion of party theory does come with a stipend.
Ooh,
So you will be receiving a note shortly in your dorm rooms that will entitle you to probably quite a large sum of money.
oh wow.
Why do we get money for finishing a class? Is GM showing that pity on us because we're poor and we need
Now listen here. Come on, get the Phelan voice. Now listen here. It's important that you understand that I put you at a lot of risk doing these kinds of things. This whole class is about trying to teach people the importance of why it's best to work together as a team. And when we apply risk, and when we apply this level of difficult comprehension, it's important that you be properly compensated for the risk you've put in. You've put in substantially more risk, and therefore we look for people in your kind of situation who we're planning to pay money to for work done. So this is a pretty fair exchange, in our opinion, and
Thank you.
we feel like you're well worth the money that we put in. Now, what you'll find is that it's not a lot, but around the class, you should be able to find people who can help you make things that you want. So this money, these notes that you will be getting, they're not usable outside of town, but they're usable within the campus, and you can use them to acquire goods from the students here as part of their projects. You get to keep whatever is produced, obviously. But they will be provided to you at basically the rough cost of material completion.
that's very
Okay.
generous. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So does this mean we're done with the class?
That means you are done with party theory.
Oh,
Now
and then
to
party
advanced
stu-
party theory.
It is actually party studies is the second
Okay,
in the
I
series.
thought you had said that we finished party studies. That's
Yeah,
what
I keep
No,
screwing
no,
up. I
we're-
keep getting the names flip-flopped.
well, that's pretty good. Let's work on our proposal for the dean.
Okay.
And then,
Each of you, by the way, gets 1,000 GP in notes.
whoo,
So how do you want us to reflect that on our sheets?
So you can write, because this is a weightless object, so you can put 1,000 GP note onto your equipment. And as he explained, you basically can buy items at cost. You basically ask someone to produce the item for you. And that person, you can basically do some research, try to find somebody who will make the item. That person will attempt to make the item. Now, bear in mind, the people making these items are going to be the minimum capable level of making that item. And so I will be making checks for them. And so you will not be getting like a factory perfect item, but you are getting it at a sizable discount. And even if they fail, they will have to eat the loss in what they're producing. So if they make an item, if they fail to make the item and have to like pay for extra materials, that cost doesn't roll over to you. They have to eat that cost. But
fancy.
if there's something wrong with the item, it's your item.
Okay. That makes life interesting.
Do you want to work on your proposal now, Erasmus?
We
Yeah.
gotta get them the banana flies, though.
What's that?
We gotta get the Batman their banana flies.
We will go get the Batman their banana flies. Okay, so I'm gonna my proposal is going to be that by raising bats, there'll be an initial investment. However, we will not have to send parties out, and that will cut on the long-term cost of adventures. And then we basically talk about raising a shorter-lived breed of bat that we can selectively breed over generations to provide optimal magic items, as opposed to this just kind of willy-nilly getting it out there. And then the wings and parts we don't use can be sold for food and whatever else you do with dead animal parts. Anybody have any thoughts?
Make dog treats.
Dog treats, stuff like that. And what's a good wordy title you would give a paper for a proposal? Like the efficacious use of Chiroptin husbandry. Sound good?
That's fine with me.
I don't know if that's actually how you say the Latin name for bats. So if anybody knows how to say that.
No idea.
So I'll write a proposal, but I will I'll take it to the druids to see if they can tweak it. And then who would be another group? What's that? That would be good to consult. The wizards? My buddies at the Wizards College?
Are you saying you want to take it to the Batman to see what they think about it, or do you want us to find other druids to? I'm gonna
make the proposal. I'm gonna make a couple of copies, and then I was asking if you guys could take a look at its druids and sound if it sounds sound. Then I wanted one to the wizard to see if this is a sound proposal, and then I don't know. Have an accountant take a look at the math.
Okay.
Math that I'm totally making up.
Sure.
That's fine.
I'll spend, do we have anything going on for the next day? Hair Dam?
No.
All right, so I'll spend a day on this proposal.
Okay.
All right. And then in between, when I get stressed out, I will practice my sling, as this is now going to be my meditative thing.
Okay.
I got the idea from Jordan Slansky, actually, because he practices the whip when he wants to meditate.
So with this 1K note, do you have to spend it all with one single person?
No, you can. It can be divided up amongst multiple people. Yeah.
Cool.
You basically you and the person producing the item sign off on the note and the dollar amount of the item, and that basically cuts that away from the note.
I have no clue what I want to buy other than a potion.
That's fine.
I want to buy a longbow.
Okay. I think for tonight we're actually just gonna wrap up early.
Okay.
Boy,
there's something really going on with the CTA. I know it's canceled, but I've gotten 4 notices in the last 20 minutes.
It's a bit crazy right now. So.
Ash said there are a bunch of cops right out on Burkhart and Madison.
Yep. My mom is actually texting me like crazy because she's seeing weird stuff going on. So.
Stay safe,
So
guys.
don't go outside, anyone.
So yeah, let me pass out some XP here.
And by the way, I clearly love that encounter, Steve.
Thank you.
That was pretty.
I couldn't tell.
Awesome.
And so you guys can help me remember, I'm looking to get a wand to cure light wounds.
Okay.
Just in case I forget. That's what I want.
One of these days I'll remember to put the XP manually on the fucking monsters. Alright, so everybody take 1,220 XP.
Woo!
Nice.
That means we level.
Wait, 3rd level?
Yeah.
This now makes it him more successful than 50% of my Pathfinder society, as most of my characters are 2nd level only.
What's the next level?
Level 3.
No, I mean, how many do we have to get?
Oh,
To get to?
I was like, wait,
I'm
what?
not
Well-
looking at the right table. 1 sec.
We're 3rd level, right?
Level 3 is, or level 4 is 9,000 XP.
Oh,
Oh,
Rich, should
shit.
we roll our hit points now or next
Yes,
session?
let me have everybody go ahead and roll me up some XP or some hit points.
I'll roll some XP. Yeah.
No, let's not roll up XP.
What do we roll?
Just click the hit points thing above your current hit points.
Is that's a reroll for me? Yeah, that was a 1.
Yes.
And so we add this.
Yep.
So now I have 18. That's a lot better.
Is a 2 a reroll?
2 is also a reroll because you're yeah, you're fine. 2 is a reroll.
What is my
Your D8 or hold on, I forget.
D6? I
I
think.
think you're D6.
Does my deer get anything?
Yeah, they also get hit point. They also get hit dice increased. I think we'll have to look up animal companions because that part I don't do really anything with animal companions ever. Arcanist is a D6, Charles.
Yeah, the screen is not loading. Do you want me to just
Yeah,
wait
just
until
just roll the die. Roll a D6.
All right, big old 2.
All right. You re-roll a 2. Re-roll 1s and 2s. I'm overly generous.
All right, 4.
All right. That's the average. All right. Well, that's it for tonight. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good
That was
night.
good.